All right, so we're back with another live recording here of the Real Estate Greatness Podcast. I'm your host, Scottie Campbell, and I've got a really exciting guest with us today, Chad Goldwasser. So you're gonna, if you're watching this on a social platform, you're gonna experience our live recording of the podcast. So buckle up because we've got quite a story for you today, and I'm gonna do a quick introduction that we'll use for the production recording. Hey, welcome back to Real Estate Greatness. I'm your host, Scottie Campbell. And today I am so excited. We've got a guest who is well known in the Austin real estate community. His reputation precedes himself, and he's really one of the top producers of our entire region. Been in real estate, I think, 27 years. But more importantly than that, has quite an awesome story to share with us today of overcoming some crazy things in life. As we always say, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. So today we're going to talk a little bit about our guest, Chad Goldwasser's origin story in the business. His personal life, I'm sure, is going to be weaved into that. Chad, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, buddy. It's great
Glad to have you, man. So, hey, can you just jump right into it and tell me a little bit about how did you get into real estate and how did that coincide with your personal life? We want to hear your story.
Yeah, man. I grew up in Minnesota, and I got done with school, and I went to college, and I went to the University of North Dakota to play football, which was horrible. Then I quit, and then I went and I lived out in Denver for a year. And my girlfriend, who I met when I was 11 and started dating when I was 13 and dated her all throughout high school and college, she came back to Minnesota, and she finished school in 3.5 years. I had taken a year off and moved out to Colorado, then moved back to Minnesota so that I could go to the University of Minnesota, which is what I was doing. She came back, never wanted to be in the cold. It was super cold. She decided to move down to Austin, Texas, and broke my heart. And 6 months later, I got a call from her, and she said, I want you to come down here. I want you to move down to Austin. And there's a lot more to it, but I did. And I was 22 years old, 22. Okay. It was 1996. And I was a bartender, and I started going to the University of Texas, and I was looking for different avenues to make money because I suddenly realized that I did not want to be in the restaurant business, but I thought I was going to be successful in the restaurant business. And I was bartending and I was managing, and I decided that wasn't what I was wanting to do. So she said to me in the summer of 97, I guess it was, she said, I want to buy a home. And we got engaged. And I said, I'm a bartender. I can't buy a home. And she said, no, we can. And so 6 months later, we did. We saved up the money. We bought a little house in Battle Bend Springs, paid $82,000 for it.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
not today, right?
That house is worth $1 million right now. And
that's wild.
And we bought the home, and I started thinking about it. I got into another business called Amway, which I had no clue what the heck that was, but I quickly found out that it was a very difficult business. Yeah. But although it was never financially successful for me, it was very successful for me in the fact that I learned about goal setting. I learned about getting out of my comfort zone, because if you know anything about that type of business, it is all about getting out of your comfort zone. And I learned about getting around great people to learn and grow. And personal growth has always been one of my number one core values. So I decided I'm going to start investing in real estate. And I went to classes to get my license because I wanted to know more about real estate if I was going to be buying it and investing in it. And as I sat in those classes, there was probably 100 people in those classes. And I thought, if these people can sell real estate, I surely can. And so I got out, and I went to work for a company called Prudential Owens. 6 months into my career, I had my first listing. It was a mobile home in Smithville.
Wow.
Yeah, super successful. But I was out studying and learning the market
Yeah.
And while I was doing that one day, I met this guy, and he said, he said, you should come work for me. And I didn't really understand that that's what he was saying. And I just kind of brushed it off. And a month later, I was in my office about to do an open house. And I had just learned what he was talking about. He asked me to be a buyer's agent for him, and I had no idea what he meant. And so I'm looking at a magazine, and he's on the cover of it. And it was called Broker Agent Magazine.
Okay.
And I said, I got to call that guy. And I understood what he was talking about at that point, being a buyer's agent. And 6 hours later, I'm at Trudy's working behind the bar. And guess who walks up to the bar? James Willoughby, the guy on the cover of of that magazine.
Wow.
And the guy that had ridden with me on a property tour a month earlier. And I said, I got to call him. And I never called him that day.
Now, was that intentional? Was he seeking you out, or did he just happen to pop in?
No.
Oh man, that's awesome.
It was intentional now in my mind, because, I think God put him there.
Sure.
Because he changed my life.
So awesome.
Yeah. I was 23. I went to work for him, and basically he gave me every single buyer lead that he had.
Okay.
And 4 days into working with him, he gave me a book called 30 Days to Success as a Buyer's Agent. And I was 23, and I was still working full time at the bar. And he said, hey, man, I've given this book to every single agent that's worked for me. None of them has completed it, and none of them works for me anymore. And I said, okay, gauntlet thrown down.
You're going to be the guy that gets it done.
Yeah. So I started getting up at 6 a.m. every day. And there were between 10 to 30 different exercises that I had to go through every day. And the first exercise that I had to do every day was to go through 25 affirmations. I had to read them aloud 4 times. Then I had to write in a notebook 25 times every single day for 30 days. I will enjoy success through selling 4 homes per month. Then I had to visualize for 10 minutes myself receiving checks, showing homes, becoming successful. And it was called the Quantum Leap exercise. And
I've heard of that.
Yeah. Then I had to write practice contracts, and I had to preview homes, and I had to lead generate and do all the things and learn scripts and dialogues. And the next year, I sold my first home a month later.
Wow.
And I completed the 30 Days to Success, and I never stopped.
It's amazing.
The things that were making me successful. And 27 years later, guess what I did this morning?
I'm guessing you did the same exercise.
I was doing my affirmations. I have been influencing the way that I think for 27 years. So the next year I sold almost 70 homes. I was 24, made almost $200,000, and my life changed and my thinking shifted, and I went on my own. And 9 years later, I was the #1 agent worldwide for a company called Keller Williams. We had 100,000 agents at the time, number 42 on the planet. And I was 31 years old. I started speaking all over the country. And so anyway, that's the
tiny little company called Keller Williams. Just a little guy out there.
Yeah. 200,000 agents. Now, I thought I thought Gary is still a good friend of mine. I talk to him quite often because I love him and he's a great mentor. And I was talking to him. We met up about 3 months ago. And I said, yeah, when I said, how many agents do you have now? He said, 200,000. I said, yeah, when I was there, we had 80,000. He said, no, 100,000. So although I don't even like to say that anymore, I'm proud of that. That's an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me the opportunity to make an impact on a lot of people. And that's what I still try to do to this day. So
that's fantastic. So that was the beginning.
Yeah.
So then you went out on your own. You're working under Keller Williams. What led to, kind of like you're known for being the guy that sold Circle C.
Yeah.
You live there.
Yeah.
What led to that success? And tell us a little bit more about how that developed.
Yeah. So I went to an event in 2000. It would have been the year 2000, I think, because I had just moved into Circle C.
Okay.
I was 26, 26 or 27. I had just bought a home in Circle C, and I went to this event, and I sat down in what was called a farming class, and I didn't really know what that was. And this company called Hobbs and Herder said, we did a test into a neighborhood, and we asked who is the top agent in the neighborhood, and we got 100 different responses. And then we did 8 mail-outs over 8 weeks with a fictitious agent, and then we went back and we said, who's the top agent? And 90% of the people said the fictitious agent. And I said, that's brilliant. I live in a home of 5,000. I live in a home that's in a neighborhood with 5,000 homes, 450 sales a year, and that's 800 sides or 900 sides.
Right.
A good farming agent can capture 10 to 20% of a market. So I said, okay, if I capture 10% of 450, that's 45 sales. That the average price at the time was about $350,000, and I calculated all that out, and I thought this is a good use of my time. And I did 8 mail-outs over 8 weeks, but what I did differently was 3 weeks, just to 400 homes.
Okay.
Just to my section of Circle C, because it's expensive to produce a 5,000 count mail out, right?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. I mean, especially if you do it nice, Yeah.
Yeah. So I sent out 3 of them, and then I went and I knocked on all 400 doors in the neighborhood and introduced myself to probably, let's say 200, half of them. And then I called everyone, and I got my first listing about 4 weeks into the program. And then I did a massive open house. I sold the house before it ever went on the market, did a massive open house anyways, had barbecue, food. Everybody saw my name. And then I kept doing the mail outs. And then that next year I sold 30% of the homes in that section of the neighborhood, decided I was going to expand to all 5,000 homes. So that was 4,600 left. And I went to my 2 agents, like I was telling you before we got live. And I said, we're going to go and knock on 4,600 doors. They said, you're nuts. People are going to think you're crazy and desperate. And I said, I don't care. I'm going to take over the neighborhood. And I did. I knocked on 4,600 doors over the course of 6 months, 3 days a week. And I took over the neighborhood. I started advertising in the neighborhood. I put up a billboard. I sponsored all the events. I created what's called a PIE program, Partners in Education, where every full commission that I was getting in the neighborhood, I would take a portion of that commission and I would give it to the schools of their choice. And so I was giving back to the community, and amazing. And I still live here.
Real quick, Partners in Education. What was the mission of that, and how did you market it?
Basically, I did I did a mail out to the entire neighborhood.
Okay.
We are starting a Partners in Education program. Sell your home with me or buy a home with me. When I receive a full fee, 3% of the sales price is what I charge. I will give 10% of that 3% back to the school of your choice. Gariski, Bowie High School, Kiker, or Clayton Elementary.
Very cool. Very cool. So that was like, what do we call it now? More like socially conscious, or whatever you want, cause-based. Before that was cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you were able to attract people in based on kind of this ground game, mailers, door knocking, doing something for the community.
Yeah.
What type of events did you do? You mentioned events.
So this is kind of cool. Well, I did. I mean, and then I networked. I would go to everything. And I remember when I was really early on in the creation and the domination of the neighborhood, I went to a guys' night poker game, and there was about 25 guys there, and I just put up a billboard. And I walked in, and everybody was like, "Oh, Goldwasser's here." And one guy goes, "Oh, let's all jump in the truck and go see his billboard." Haha. And I remember feeling embarrassed slightly.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Then I remember thinking, they're talking about real estate and they're talking about me.
Yep. That's exactly right. They're talking about you, and they're talking about what you can do.
Yeah. And the bottom line is, I am not embarrassed at all. I am a shameless self-promoter, and I mean that in the most positive way possible. I have a belief that I am, if not one of the top 5, top 10 agents on the planet. That's not arrogance. That's belief.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I care so much because when you're selling your $5 million home, Scottie, do you want to put it in the hands of Julie, who is John's brother's sister's daughter's friend's sister that just got her real estate license because she's going to give you a 1.5% discount? Or do you want to put it in the hands of someone with 27 freaking years of high-level real estate negotiating experience that's dedicated his life?
That's a great question. And that's the truth. Like, I want that experience on my side. And I know that a lot of our listeners, want to learn how to become that agent, right? Because the whole purpose of what we're doing here in telling your story and helping others to see what was possible for you is I want to inspire that level of abundance with others. So Julie's cousin, sisters, friends, uncle, whatever, that just got their license. I want that agent to learn how to offer what you can offer, quite frankly. And I think it's important that as we're growing into the new generation of real estate agents and loan originators and the people that are going to carry this torch the next 20 years, hustle is important, but strategy is just as important. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, so I want to tell you, and I want to tell everyone that listens to this about what is called the Gold app, giving others leadership and direction. My last name is Goldwasser. You can go to the goldapplication.com and sign up for a free 7-day trial when it becomes available. It is my life work. I have dedicated my life. My son said to me the other week, he goes, "Man, you're really good at what you do, aren't you, Dad?" I said, "No." I said, "I never wanted to be good. I never wanted to be great. I want to be legendary. I want to be the best there ever was." I dedicated my life to it.
I love that, man. That's
every nook, cranny, every sales strategy and technique that would help me to help people make the decision to work with me, because it scares me to have them work with an agent that doesn't know what they're doing.
Dude, your passion is infectious, man. I love that. What GOLD stands for? Giving others leadership and direction.
So 6 months ago, I'm running at 5 a.m. on a beach in St. Petersburg, Florida. And this guy says, I have a Shark Tank idea, and I'm going to pay agents to create their ideas. And I'm on the beach running, and I'm like, Shark Tank idea, Shark Tank, GOLD, giving others leadership and direction. It's an app that is going to teach agents how to be legendary, like freaking amazing. So for instance, basically the agent goes to goldapplication.com. I think that's a website, and it'll be ready in a month or two. I'm working on a partnership with one of the top people in the industry, one of my best friends who owned a company that I used to be with. And basically, here's how it works. Scottie, you're a real estate agent. You want to get better. You decide not to go to Starbucks for 8 times a month and invest in becoming legendary. You take a 7-day free trial of the GOLD app. Here's how it works. Typical, traditional, average real estate agent that chooses to invest in becoming amazing, they get a call from Scottie. Hey, Scottie, I need to sell my home. I heard you're pretty good at it. Oh, God, Scottie, I love selling homes. Scottie, what's your email address? Scottie@I'mARockstar.com. Excellent, Scottie. And then that agent's going to go to the GOLD app. They're going to click on Home Seller Guide, which is a proven, repeatable process designed to get you the best price, Scottie, for your home. I just emailed that to you, and I texted it to you as well. Do you have 2 more minutes to go through our home seller interview with us? And the agent will go back to the GOLD app. They will click on Home Seller Interview, and they will go through the interview that I've been utilizing for 25 years.
Nice.
Scripts and dialogues. They'll ask all the questions to know the answers to, so that they go in and they knock the listing out of the park. And then the last question I always ask people is, Scottie, what are the top 3 things you'll be looking for from me as your agent? And you're going to say marketing, open houses, and I own a $50 million home, so I'd like a discount. Excellent, Scottie. I'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. The typical traditional average agent reduces their commission and doesn't know how to deal with the objection, doesn't feel valuable enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach them how to be valuable enough. But what they're going to do now is they're going to go to the GOLD app. They're going to click on seller reduction scripts. They're going to click on performance-based commission structure. Up is going to pop up a video. This one's going to be me. but I'm going to have all the top agents around the world that are all friends of mine do videos and scripts as well. And the video is just going to be me. And this is it. Performance-based commission structure. Mr. Scottie, I totally get it. I would want a discount too. I got a $50 million home. I don't do discounts. What I do is what I call the performance-based commission structure. Here's how it works. When I sell your home for 50 million or more, which is what we're going to list it at, that's called the trial close, Scottie, which is what we're going to list it at, I'll take my full fee. If I sell it for 45 to 50 million, Scottie, I'll give you a 0.5% discount, and anything less than that, which isn't going to happen, I'll give you a full percentage discount. Sounds good, right?
Sounds great.
Go ahead.
You just pulled me right in, man. Like,
so
yes,
the agent,
performance-based discount strategy.
The agent is going to watch the video, and like on Spotify, they're going to have the lyrics, except in the lyrics, in my case, are the scripts, and then they're going to be able to read those, and they're going to utilize what's called MICC, memorize, internalize, customize, capitalize. They memorize the script as I've written it. They internalize it. It just becomes part of the way they speak. Then they can customize it. If they're in California, hey, dude, we don't do, they customize it, and then they capitalize, which is make money. They learn that script. They go in, they get the full price listing. They go back to the car. They go to the Gold app. They click on, I just listed the home email. Scottie, thanks so much, from the curb. Because agents sometimes are not good at communication, Scottie, from the curb. They're going to click on the Gold app. They're going to go to, I just signed the listing email. Email is going to go off to their transaction manager or just to them and to Scottie Campbell. Hey, Scottie, thanks so much for listing your home with me today. I can't wait to get you the best price. Here are the next steps. Boom, 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 boom. My script. Then they're going to go to the I just signed the listing cookie button, and I'm going to create cookie agreements with cookie companies around the world. Tiff's Treats here. And they're going to go to that button, click on it. Tiff's Treats will get the order, $25, 12 fresh hot cookies, show up on Scottie's door within 3 hours. We deliver the Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, 4 seasons level of service that people deserve. And there will be thousands of scripts. There will be master classes. There will be sales strategies and skills. There will be my favorite, which is Chad's morning music motivation, because I'm a music fan. And so in the morning, they'll get a little video. Hey guys, it's Chad. Click on TNT at 8:47 a.m. And around the world, hopefully hundreds of thousands of people will click on that little button at 8:47. We'll all dance in the living room and create community and culture and connection. And that's just the beginning. Then for lenders, title companies, painters, affiliate agreements, I'm going to have them be able to advertise and invest. And then whenever the leads come in, because what I'm good at, Scottie, is I walk in your door to list your home, buddy. By the time I leave, the stagers are coming, the inspection's set up, the lender's ready to get them pre-approved. The handyman's coming, the roofer's coming to take a look at that. The movers are set up, everything. And that's what sets me apart. So
it's fantastic. So you've brought it all together, your life's work. You're actually going to make this available to everybody. That's pretty cool.
Everybody.
That's really cool, man. Thank you for sharing that. And when it's ready, just let me know, and we'll we'll put the links out there and all that good stuff. And I love what you just said. MICC, memorize, internalize, customize, commit. Capitalize. I'm sorry. So memorize,
internalize, customize, capitalize.
There's a lot of people out there in the sales world that don't want to do scripting, and they're really not interested in scripts, which I find, it's a whole nother conversation. But what would you say to somebody who feels like, I just don't want to be quote unquote salesy. I just don't want to use scripts. I want to have great conversations, but I don't want to script. What would you say to that person?
How much are you making right now?
Ooh, good question.
How much are you making right now? And do you feel like that's what you're worth? And do you feel like that's all you can do? Because I love that question, man. I love it when people say, I'm a good bullshitter. Okay, great. Well, you stick to that. I'm going to go out and make $200,000 a month. Okay?
And you also said something too, Chad, that I think is very valuable here. You talked about a proven, repeatable sales process.
Yeah.
How important is that to not just growing initially, but scaling your business?
Scottie, do you have kids?
I do. I got 2 and a third on the way.
How old?
I got a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and of course, one that's cooking in the oven.
Okay. So I have a 22-year-old. I have an 18-year-old. I have a 22-year-old son, a 20-year-old son, and an 18-year-old daughter. Here's how important it is. I could teach my 18-year-old daughter my system. It is a step-by-step, proven, repeatable process. That's a script, by the way. Because Scottie, would you want a proven, repeatable process designed to get you the best price for your home? Just say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I can teach my daughter that system, and she'd be one of the top agents in the city of Austin if she were willing to commit to lead gen within 5 years. It is that important. I am one person, but my vision is global. And I had some setbacks. I've had a lot of setbacks. I overcame addiction, praise God. And I am sober, and I know, I don't care what people think about that, or I want to help other people, but my mind is clearer. My mission, I am a mission and values-based human being. I chased after fame and money and success and wealth and all these things to try to fill this hole in my heart that I eventually tried to fill with drugs and alcohol. And none of it worked until I got clean. And I got on my knees and I asked God for forgiveness. And I found a way to live my life clean and sober. And I have a global vision. And in order to achieve that and to provide the level of service that I want to provide, the level of professionalism that I want to share with the world in real estate, in anything, it needs to be a system. Everything is a system. The way I wake up is a system. The way I list homes is a system. The way I work with buyers it's systematic so that we can scale it. So
I think that's one of the most important things that we often miss as salespeople is if you don't systematize, you're going to lose a lot of opportunities.
Oh, totally.
What do you feel like, and this might be well, I'm going to try to make it as pointed of a question as possible, but you've mentioned adversity. I know a little bit of your story. What do you feel like was the most challenging thing that you've overcome personally? And I'm going to give you some backstory to the question. A lot of high achievers, top producers, top level leaders go through some crisis in life personally, right? Because it's never enough. We've all heard these stories. You achieve the money, you achieve some fame, you end up on the magazine cover, whatever, top 10 agent worldwide in your case, number one agent worldwide, you said. So what do you think that that most difficult thing was that you overcame in order to get through that? And how did you do it?
From 1997 till 2007, when I became number one in the world, there wasn't a lot. 2008, I was number one in the world again and decided to launch my own company, Goldwasser Real Estate. My wife was working my first wife was working as the chief operating officer of the company. I had a CEO running the company. 1 year after we left Keller Williams, in the height of one of the most challenging markets ever, there was a woman that had been working for me for 3 years who was handling our money. And I kept telling my partners, hey, she's stealing. And they didn't believe me. And they said, no, she's great. And I was right. She had stolen $500,000 from me.
Wow.
And she had not paid my payroll taxes. So that happened in October of 2009. Sorry, I'm plugging my deal in. That happened in October of 2009. In January of 2010, my top agent left me. And between January of 2010 and June, half of my agents, I had 110 agents at the time, half of them left the company. And then my wife left me. That was a 6-month period.
Wow.
So that was challenging. And I laid in bed for about a year, did not want to get out, took my foot off the pedal in Circle C, basically wanted to die. I tried to drink myself to death. Then I got clear again, started working on my sobriety, met a girl, then found out my partners were behind my back, which was my former wife and the CEO that I brought into the company that I was paying a ton of money to. I found out that they were plotting to change the name of my company behind my back.
Wow.
And then I left and they sued me not to use my own name, even though they got another company to come in. And yeah, that was tough. And then the addiction, that was the toughest, but it's all overcome, all of it. And I have not even started. Like, what I've done in the past is going to pale in comparison to what I believe God has in store for my future.
I love that.
The truth is, whatever happens, I'm sober, I'm clean, I'm clear, I'm focused. I love what I do. And I have 3 beautiful children. I've got friends, new friends like you. And I'm going to speak and teach, and I'm going to go around the world, hopefully making a positive impact. So
you're doing that, man. Like right now, you're literally doing that. Thank you for sharing your story. And some of what you've overcome are things that people are dealing with right now. It's no secret. We're recording this September of 2023. It is no secret that this year has been one of the hardest years that our industry has faced, right? For whatever reasons. And, I'm a strong believer, first of all, in God, like you. So I really do believe that God gives us the ability to overcome natural things like the market, gives us creativity, gives us a plan. But what would you say to somebody who is struggling through this time, and maybe they haven't followed a plan or a process, a proven, repeatable process, right? What would you say to that person?
2 things. Number 1, call me, email me, contact me through social media if you want. I'm glad to help. Second thing, get over it. Get your ass to work.
Come
Take
on.
action. I was reading this morning. I read pretty much every day of my life. This is what I read today, and I just want to read it because I think it's amazing. The highly accomplished were paragons of perseverance. Why were the highly accomplished so dogged in their pursuits? For most, there was no realistic expectation of ever catching up to their ambitions. In their own eyes, they were never good enough. They were the opposite of complacent. And yet, in a very real sense, they were satisfied being unsatisfied. I love that.
Wow. Yeah.
Each of them was chasing something of unparalleled interest and importance, and it was the chase as much as the capture that was gratifying. Even if some of the things they had to do were boring or frustrating or even painful, they wouldn't dream of giving up. Their passion was enduring. It was the combination of passion and perseverance that made high achievers special. In a word, they had grit. And that's from
Grit. I love that word. What is that from? Oh, the book is called Grit. Fantastic. Angela Duckworth. What's the what's the subtitle there?
The power of passion and perseverance.
Grit, the power. So for our listeners, if you're not seeing the video, the book that came from is called Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth. Chad, that's some really good stuff, man. Thank you for sharing. I think that's in a nutshell going into 2024. I mean, this is pretty much the end of the year. So we're really needing to look at 2024 and figure out what do we want that to look like as, whether we're producers in real estate or, we're looking to get into it. It's interesting. There's a statistic that I read. Those who have been licensed, and this is real estate or mortgage, doesn't matter. Those who have been licensed now in 2020, 2021, or 2022 are typically outperforming those who got licensed pre-2020. What do you think about that?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. Here's what I think about, if you want to know.
Yeah.
In 2006, Gary Keller, I got a lot of his time. And he said he's still one of my greatest mentors. I talk to him on a very regular basis because I love him to death. And I want to get around the best people. And in 2006, he said to me, Chad, and I just told him this recently. I said, I don't know if you remember this, man, but in 2006, you said to me, every day you wake up, Chad, and you think about one thing with regards to your business, where is it coming from? Lead generation. The number one job of a real estate agent is lead generation. And every day I wake up, which I do usually about 4:30 a.m. To get started. Just another hint. People wonder, what does it take? Get up earlier, you know? If I don't, I like getting up at that time because I get to pray, meditate, go through my affirmations, read, and then get to the gym. And then I go to a meeting every morning at 6 a.m. to stay sober. And then I can get cranking on my day. So by 8 a.m., like I'm moving, and I get on the phones, and that's what I did today. I made maybe 20 calls, but everything in my life is about lead generation. And every person I meet, every person that I meet at the Starbucks or the HEB or at a concert, because I'm a music fanatic, they know one thing about me before I leave, that I'm in real estate.
That's awesome. I love that.
I'm probably pretty good at it.
That's pretty great, man. Thank you for sharing. I mean, it's refreshing to hear after all these years, 27 years. It's refreshing to hear your outlook. It really is, and knowing that you've overcome some adversity to get here. Chad, tell me about like what's the most. You told me about the app. So you've got a newer company now, right? That you run. Is that?
Yeah. So I've got Pure Gold Realty.
Okay.
I am expanding my business out to Los Angeles, and I am going to rejoin Keller Williams out there. They have an office right in Beverly Hills, and I'm considering what I'm going to do fully with Pure Gold Realty here in Austin. I may rejoin Keller Williams here.
Very cool.
Because I want, people still know me there. They know who I am. They respect what I did and what I am doing. And I am hopeful that Gary is going to work with me on the app in some way.
Cool.
And I love what?
I said, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, what Gary says goes. And so when Gary puts a book out, 200,000 people buy it. He's got his own coaching company, but people spend thousands of dollars, $1,500 to $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month for coaching. And our app, where I'm going to be teaching and coaching people, I'm only asking people to invest $100 a month. And a lot of agents can't afford $1,500 or $2,000 a month, and they're going to have coaching from a top agent, and I'm going to involve all the other top agents around the planet in it as well. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I've been spending part of my time out in Beverly Hills, where I'm working on building my name there. And in Beverly Hills, the average price is $5.6 million. In Austin, Texas, it's about 600,000.
Right.
So I sell 50 homes in Austin, Texas. That's about 30 to 50 million in sales. I sell 50 homes in Beverly Hills. It's almost 250 million in sales. And I know what I'm doing. And I've already, I've been out there for 4 months back and forth, and I've probably met 400 people, and they're all in my phone with all their information and who their favorite band is and when their birthday is. And awesome. They all know I'm in real estate. And so that's another technique I'm teaching and training people right now, is what I call the no, I don't have a business card technique. And basically it's where Scottie says, hey, Chad, you got a business card, man? And I said, no, I don't. I said, hold on. I go to my little iPhone, right? And you go to, this is straight up real estate goods here. And I'm going to teach this on the app too. But you go to your phone and you click on contacts, and you go to your contact, which is at the top, Chad Goldwasser. You click on it. There's a bunch of information there. You put it all in there, and you say, Scottie, what's your number? And I don't think we've done this yet, so I'm going to do it right now, Scottie. What is your number, Scottie?
512
512
943
943
2243.
2243. Boom. And then not 512-943-2243.
That's it. Yeah.
Who's your favorite band on the planet, galaxy, and the universe?
U2.
And when's your birthday?
December 5th.
Okay, excellent. Now I go to the text I sent you. I click on your name. I click on info. I go to create new contacts. I punch in SCOTTIECAMPBELL. And then I go to company where it says company.
Uh-huh.
I click on that and I click on the microphone. Now you have to be quiet, Scottie. Are you ready?
Yep.
Scottie Campbell is a lender, and he had me on his podcast on September 25th, 2023. He lives in Georgetown, Texas. He's got 2 little babies, 4 and 2 years old. He's got 1 on the way, and he loves you too. And his birthday is December 5th, and he's a badass, and he's smiling at me right now on the podcast, period. He is in the loan business, and we will be friends. And if he needs to buy or sell a mansion, he'll call me maybe, or one of his other friends. And if he ever knows anyone in Los Angeles, for sure he'll freaking call me. Boom. Now,
oh, that was fantastic.
Now it's all right there.
I love that. Oh my
gosh,
that's so cool.
And then I say one more thing to the person. I say, if you're okay with it, I never want to forget the first day that we met. And so I'll take a picture, and then I do that, use photo, and now the typical traditional average real estate agent, Scottie, they hate to call people because they don't want to say, oh, Scottie, I don't remember where we met, but do you need to buy or sell a home? I call and I'm like, Scottie, bro, U2's coming. Can you believe that? I was just listening to Desire, man.
Come on.
I know your birthday's coming up December 5th, and I hope your new baby's doing awesome. And do you need to buy or sell a mansion?
That's fantastic, dude. That was pure gold, pun intended. But seriously, pure gold, guys.
I think it's one of my best new ideas I've had in a long time.
I was going to say that is like, first and foremost, you took my business card strategy to a whole nother level, because I also don't carry business cards. So pre-pandemic, what I used to do was I would say, hey, just give me your phone. And they would, and I'd put my information in, I'd text myself, and it was cute and whatever. But post-pandemic, you don't really do that so much. So, I started doing kind of similar to what you do. Dude, you just took that to the whole next level. So thank you for that information and that strategy. Listeners, put that into play. Stop handing out business cards. They're getting lost.
Yeah. Nobody ever uses them.
Use Chad's active, we'll call that the active contact strategy. I love that. And then everything you said, fantastic. One last question. What's the most important number one tool that you use in real estate?
My mindset, my energy, and my attitude. I attract people. If you're talking about a tool regarding like a CRM or something like that, I have 27 years of notes on John and Angela Mulesti, who bought one of their first homes from me. A database is key. Your phone is key, but it is, when I got to number one in the world for Keller Williams, people were like, what is it?
Yeah. What is it?
What's the key? And I would pull them real close, and I would say massively positive freaking energy and an incredible attitude.
That's
awesome. And now, people are like, are you on drugs, man? No, I'm not anymore. This is the Holy Spirit. Like, I know God has a plan, and I don't care if people are Christian or not out there. I really don't care. I do care, but I don't care. I know God is there, and he has a plan, and I am going to continue to spread fun, positive light to the world, and hopefully make a positive impact in my own little way.
Well, Chad, you have absolutely positively impacted me today. You've brought me a whole lot of joy. So thank you so much. And for those who are listening, I hope you got some massive value from the things that this real estate guru has shared with us today. And, I just feel that I want to say this. A lot of people go through tough times and they don't reach out when they need help. So I'm personally willing to be there for you if you're a listener and you need a life preserver. Chad's willing to do the same. I just volunteered you for that, Chad, but I believe
I am.
I believe that's who you are. And so please
512-750-8333, 512-750-8333.
there you go.
Chad.Goldwasser on Instagram. My sobriety depends on helping others if they're struggling with that. If you're struggling with real estate, I love helping people. I always answer my phone, and it helps me.
Well, thank you for being a legend, and thank you for inspiring others. And even after everything you've accomplished, you're still leading the charge. So thank you for all those things, sharing your story with us today. But it's been an absolute honor. Listeners, please give us some feedback. Please make sure you share this with at least 2, if not 3 people you know who could benefit from Chad's story and strategies. We'll see you next time. Remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great.